Welcome back to RBP. It's me, Ross Bolin, here with producer Kade Orris. Kade, how's the hangover?
Not terrible. I did wake up at like 7 this morning with a little bit of a headache, but I was prepared. So I drank some water, and I had a couple Tylenols just laying on my nightstand. So when I woke up and I feel like shit, I just take them, go back to sleep for a couple hours, and I'm all better. Well, kind of.
What time did you go to bed last night?
I think I left around 10, and then I probably stayed up till like midnight or 1.
That's not too bad.
No.
It's better.
Yeah.
Progress.
DoorDash some Taco Bell.
Oh,
So
okay. I spoke too soon.
yeah.
I spoke too soon. What
So
did you drink? What do you drink when you go out now?
I mean, usually beer. Like that's usually like the only thing I drink. But
Thanks for being specific.
I mean, I just whatever they got. Like I had some Michelobs, had some Modelo's, and some Dos Equis.
So you're mixing it up. You don't even have like a go-to?
Well, Michelob's my go-to usually.
The Ultra?
Yeah, but they don't have those at First Thursday. They just have the Modelo's and Dos Equis, and they usually had Lone Star, but they didn't this time for some reason. Apparently, there's a shortage
Of
the
Lone Star?
Stars. Yeah.
It's funny because Michelob Ultra, to my recollection, was like the first beer company to really start marketing themselves as like a beer for athletes and
Yeah.
active people.
Yeah, they're low calorie.
And I remember thinking, this is the dumbest campaign in the world. And I was wrong. It worked.
yeah.
Like, if I see you drinking a Michelob Ultra, I assume that you're a relatively active person.
Which I like to think I am. I
You
do
know?
a lot,
You're
yeah.
you're an active guy.
Yeah.
You do the yoga, the running.
Yep, the working out.
working
all that,
out? Yeah. You just also DoorDash Taco Bell after going to First Thursday and crushing Michelob Ultras with your boys.
Yeah. But I also had a couple tequila shots, and I had some other shots. I don't even know what they were. We went to so First Thursday is at the South Congress Hotel.
First Thursday of the month, they have this event, First Thursday.
Yes. And it's just a bunch of people go to this hotel and get drunk.
At the bar on the first floor.
Yeah. They have like
It's a
4
good
bars.
hangout
yeah,
spot, though.
it's a cool hang. There's a bunch of people that go. They
On
have
a
live
very
music.
popular street, South Congress in
Yeah.
Austin.
But yeah, then we went to White Tiger after. I don't know if you're familiar.
No, I'm not.
I didn't know if that was like
It
a
also
foot-
sounds tight, though.
Yeah. It's just like right down the street. Went there, and that's where I had these shots. Like I don't even know what they were, but they have like a list of like $5, $6 shots, and they just like throw a bunch of random shit in there. And one of my friends got 2 for both of us.
Like they pour random liquors into the shot glass?
Like they just have like weird names for like all the shots. Like I have no idea what was in them. I was too drunk to even like pay attention to see what they were putting in there. So
Oh, good. That's responsible.
yeah, yeah, it was a good time.
It was fun. You had fun.
Yeah, always a good time on First Thursday. Ran into some people I haven't seen in a while, so it was good to catch up with them. Well, yeah, just another First Thursday in the books.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Socializing. Well, I'm
at
happy
me.
you had a good time last night.
Thanks.
But these are dark times.
They really
Producer
are.
Kade.
Mhm.
Dark times, sad times, hard times for a lot of people. And as much as I'd like to ignore all the disturbing things happening around the world today, I feel it is my responsibility as a professional podcaster, journalist, and New York Times bestselling author to address the most important headlines with my audience. I can't just bury my head in the sand while the world changes before our eyes. So yeah, we're starting today's show with one of my favorite segments, Insane Headlines of the Day. Most important news in the world today. Here it is. Here's our first headline. CEO accused of choking man and threatening to kill him on cruise ship over barefoot dancing incident. Love
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Love that. From NBC News, the CEO of a California-based financial services company faces a federal assault charge of choking a man on a Virgin Voyages cruise ship. First of all, I'm pissed off that nothing this dramatic happened on my cruise. The most dramatic thing I saw on my Disney cruise was my son splitting his head open. But I was kind of
You're hoping
rooting
for
like adult drama.
Yeah, like an altercation between.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Like a couple of Disney adults like fighting each other in full Disney wear.
Yeah, like they were like in line to meet mini, and like another group cuts in front of them. Like there's starts
Altercation
this big
ensues.
brawl. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been tight, but that didn't happen. So I'm a little jealous here that Virgin Voyages got to witness a choking. It says the incident happened early Monday in international waters on the Resilient Lady cruise ship. That's the name of the ship.
Oh, okay.
The Resilient Lady. Well named. Authorities allege that Kenneth DeGiorgio, the CEO of First American Financial Corp, choked a male victim following an incident that involved his wife, Nicole DeGiorgio. A spokesperson for the DeGiorgio's legal team said he was protecting his wife. Quote, Mr. DeGiorgio responded to the actions of an individual who harassed his wife, making her feel threatened and intimidated, the spokesperson said in a statement Thursday. The complaint alleges that the victim, identified by the initials M.A., maybe a Matt, could be a Matt.
Could be a Matt, yeah. Probably is a Matt. Sounds like a Matt.
He was dancing barefoot on the dance floor in the ship's On the Rocks bar when DeGiorgio's wife asked him to put his shoes on. The wife told law enforcement that she told the victim, quote, look, we're all grown-ups here. Can you put your shoes on? End quote. The victim responded by cursing at her and sticking his middle finger up, the complaint alleges. Okay, so you got a grown man.
Yep.
On a, what's the name of this? Virgin? No, not Virgin. Virgin Voyages, which just from a branding perspective, sounds strange.
Well, isn't Virgin like a big isn't it like a mobile company? Or
it's like a lot of things. I think, doesn't Richard Branson own...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I don't know
I'm
if
wondering if
tied
this
into
is,
that.
I think it is tied into that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's founded by the Virgin Group, which just, again...
Yeah, should have come up with a better name there. I don't know what old Richard Branson was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. It worked apparently for him, but yeah, this is part of that Virgin. So Virgin Voyages, full-grown man at one of the bars on the cruise ship, dancing shoeless. Woman approaches, asks him to put his shoes on. Not sure why she cared one way or the other. You're on a fucking cruise ship, ma'am.
Aren't a bunch of people like just walking around barefoot on these things?
Probably.
Yeah.
I guess maybe because they were in a bar and it sounds like in the evening. Maybe she thought that was a more, a fancier setting or something. I don't know, but it's a cruise ship.
Yeah.
You're already trash. You're on Virgin Voyages, lady. Like, if you wanted some 5-star fucking experience, you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah, you go to the Disney Magic Cruise for that.
That's where you get that.
Yeah.
And, like, seriously, though, so I kind of get the dude's response here. You know?
Yeah.
I personally, I don't shoot the bird at people. So I don't think I would have gone with that response necessarily. But and I don't think I would have cursed at her either. I probably just would have flat out ignored her.
Yeah,
and
just
gone
like-
back to dancing shoeless.
Yeah.
Because it's my feet that are at risk here.
Yeah, I mean,
And unless
he's on the rocks. Like, surely that has to hurt.
Yeah,
his feet.
you're on the rocks. And honestly, unless she was also dancing shoeless, it's not like she's at risk of getting athlete's foot or something from his like sweaty feet on the
he's
ground.
the one that's like,
He's risking it all.
yeah, like there could be like glass on the floor, like someone steps on his toe, like that's like on him.
So his wife approaches this guy, tells him to put his shoes on. Dude starts cursing at her, hits her with a middle finger. And then the attacker, DeGiorgio, security footage shows him standing up. I'm assuming he was sitting at a table watching this unfold. He walks over to the victim and just immediately starts choking him, which is a real Homer Simpson type move.
Yeah.
Like that, choking is usually an escalation. You know,
He
like,
just went right for it.
you
Like
start
that
with
escalated
punches,
quickly.
maybe get your victim to the ground
There's
first.
some pushing and some shoving.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck you, guy. No, fuck you. But yeah, he just went straight for the jugular. Starts choking the dude. It says the victim stumbled, quote, while under the physical control of DeGiorgio. So DeGiorgio had this guy locked down.
Yeah.
Sounds like he was really manhandling him. The victim said that DeGiorgio, quote, used a lot of force, end quote, and that it felt like his, quote, throat was going to be ripped out, end quote, the document says. So yeah, he was going at him. The man alleged that during the incident, DeGiorgio said, I'm going to fucking kill you. And that's just not a good enough reason to commit murder, for one.
No.
Man dancing shoeless, escalating quickly to choking murder. There's got to be steps in between.
You like to think so, but
Maybe
I mean, yeah, you cursed out this man's wife, like
you disrespected your wife. Fine,
Yeah.
whoop his ass, but like choke him to death on international waters.
yeah, like so who takes this case?
Well, you're about to find out.
Oh, okay.
Giorgio was ordered confined to his room until the ship arrived in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So, because you're on international waters, and I assume they have, like, you've seen Titanic, right?
I actually haven't, but like I know the story. We've talked about this. I've never seen Titanic.
Well, you don't know the story if you haven't seen Titanic.
I know the story. Everyone.
No, you know the Titanic sinks. That's all you know.
Yeah, I know.
You don't know about the love story
I
between
know about the
Jack,
love story. Yes, I
Jack
do.
and Rose.
Yes, hold me, Jack. Yes, that. Yes, I know about that.
Well, yeah, but
I know about the door on the water.
Yeah, but they take Jack at one point towards the end of the movie, and they lock him in like the cruise ship.
Yeah, he gets handcuffed.
Jail.
Yeah,
it gets. How do you know this without watching it?
because I've seen parts of the movie like on like Instagram and shit.
So he's handcuffed down in the cruise ship jail when they hit the iceberg.
Yeah.
And then it starts flooding.
See, I don't know how he gets out of that.
And guess what? The cruise ship jail is towards the bottom. So Rose comes and saves him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
spoiler alert.
Oh, well,
She comes and saves him, and then she immediately after that fails to save him when she's on a giant floating door that he absolutely could have fit on.
Yeah.
So she saves him from drowning just to not save him from drowning like 20 minutes later. But so I imagine all cruise ships. I even thought about this on the Disney cruise. I was like, if I fuck around and like whoop Goofy's ass,
Yeah.
where are they gonna put me? You know, I think
surely they have to have like some sort of like holding
in
cell.
Jack was accused of theft on the Titanic.
Wasn't it like a
In the
necklace
fictional-
or something?
In the fictional movie Titanic. Yes, yeah.
See, I know it.
So they locked him.
I've seen it.
So they locked him up. I don't know how you haven't watched it, but you've also watched it. They locked him up because he stole something. So maybe this assault. I don't know. Choking assault seems like a big enough deal to get you locked in the bowels of the ship or whatever. But they just confined him
they
to
just
his
put him in his
room.
room.
They were like, you got to stay in your room. You know, where on the it's the only cruise I've been on, but on the Disney cruise, your room's not a bad spot to be because you got access to every Disney movie that's ever
Right.
been
No,
made.
that's a nice spot to be in.
You wonder
honestly.
what Virgin Voyages gives you as entertainment in your room.
All right. Yeah.
Well, anyway, it was only for a day. Authorities met the ship on Tuesday, so they locked him in his room. Authorities meet the ship Tuesday. DeGiorgio's wife told authorities that she should not have told the man to put his shoes on and that he never touched her. I don't know why she's basically testifying against her husband here almost immediately after. And the legal team representing DeGiorgio, who has been the company's CEO since February of 2022, said he looks forward to being absolved of any wrongdoing. Now, I'm not sure how you can be absolved of any wrongdoing when you're on camera choking a man out.
They got him in 4K. It's gonna be tough to get out of that one.
And he's claiming you said, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to get out of that one. But
Yeah. But as a rule of thumb, you want to avoid conflict in close quarters. On a cruise, you really want to avoid this type of thing because
Yeah.
you're stuck on that boat with these people. The
Yeah.
shoeless dancer is going to be there tomorrow, man. You know, and if I'm him, I never put shoes back on.
yeah,
I'm
just to
shoeless the
spite
re-
them. Yeah,
I'm showing up to fucking brunch shoeless, dinner shoeless, you know, and making somebody do something about it.
yeah.
Because clearly, a point it needs to be made. Anyway, choking a guy.
For not having shoes, like that's such a small that's something that would never rile me up.
Honestly, even if a dude shoots the bird and throws some curse words out at my wife, as long as he doesn't make physical contact with her, I'm probably gonna come over and tell him to go fuck himself and walk
Yeah.
away with her. Because I don't want to.
And then
want this.
for her to admit after you know what, I probably shouldn't have done that to begin. Because again, he wasn't bothering her it was just uncomfortable because he didn't have shoes on, but he wasn't doing anything
Well,
until
we haven't seen his feet.
well, they're just so.
You've seen offensive feet. You've seen
I
feet
can't,
that you're
I can't say I have.
those shouldn't be out.
I can't say.
Oh, I have. My dad's feet, dude. My dad's feet are fucked up, man. They're fucked up. You ever seen Shaq's feet? Google Shaq's feet right
okay.
now and look up
I
pictures of
don't-
Shaq's feet.
I'm sorry, Google.
So some people have just fucked up feet, man. Really gnarly, chafing, mangled toes, crazy ingrown toenails. Whenever my dad comes to my house, he's largely a shoeless guy. He'd probably dance shoeless on a cruise ship. And he'll take his shoes off, and my kids are always fascinated by his feet. They come over and they say, like, what's wrong with Pop's feet? And I'm like, that's just what they look like. They're gnarled.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
Dude, Shaq's feet are
So
fucked.
Shaq's feet.
Dude, his big toe, like, what the hell?
Yeah, dude. That's what years and years of... I've got it pulled up on my Google Images now, too. That's what years and this is what my dad's feet look like, kind of.
Cool,
Minus that one, the big toe.
I don't know what's going on with the big toe.
That's like mutated.
Yeah.
That's like, the big toe is the size of like 3 other toes put together, which is just bigger than it needs to be. But that's basically what my dad's feet look like, except my dad's feet are also not black.
Right.
They're white.
Yeah.
Shaq is a different race than my father. But and my dad's feet are smaller. I think Shaq's like a size 20 foot.
That can't be real. Did you Google Shaq feet?
His
Did you see the Facebook one?
Oh yeah.
That can't even be real. There's no way that's real.
Which one? Which Facebook one? Pointed at my face. Oh, I think that might be photoshopped. Or something. That looks like fucking Nosferatu's feet, dude.
Yeah. Dude, he definitely has some.
Yeah, he's in the stew with us. He
He's
can't.
always in the stew.
Yeah, he can't pop his shoes off, but he is here,
I mean,
Nosferatu.
I mean, if you're looking at his hands, you know his feet have to be 10 times worse.
Oh, they gotta be fucked. Yeah, so that's my dad, Shaq, and Nosferatu.
Yeah,
like they can't take their shoes off
Never.
and dance on the rocks on Virgin Voyages. You know, some people need to keep their fucking shoes on. Is the point. And I've got like my feet could be bad. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, even the foot tree. And I've got some hairy, hobbity-looking feet.
Okay.
If I didn't care for them properly, they would probably get to the point where I couldn't dance shoeless on the rocks on a Virgin Voyages cruise. But they're okay right now. Yeah. Just so everybody knows, I feel like my feet are pretty good looking right now. Like they're in a good spot.
My feet look fine. I think I have some normal.
I've never really taken them in.
No, I never like stared at them. Just like, wow.
You don't really walk around. You usually got socks on.
Yeah,
at the
I always
very
have
least,
socks on. Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
J-Bone used to work shoeless at our old office, the company we worked at, and when we had like 50+ employees, so he would wear Birkenstocks that were like a decade old to work. They had barnacles famously growing on them.
Mm-hmm.
And J-Bone would take his sandals off and just walk around the office barefoot, carpeted office.
I don't think
people complained.
As they should have. Yeah.
People complained. Female employees complained.
Yeah.
And he took all the heat, which was good because I used to sometimes do it too. But I would usually stay in my office shoeless,
which is fine. Yeah, as long as you're in the privacy of your own.
But he was in the cubicle
office,
area with all the other peasants.
Yeah.
And you got to keep your fucking shoes on out there. You got to earn executive status.
Yeah,
to take your
in the
shoes
common
off in your
space, you
office.
have to have the shoes on.
Anyway, maybe this guy had really fucked feet, and then that's why she was like, "Sir, I can't
look at these. Like, you gotta do something about that.
You're grossing out the other dancers here at On the Rocks. We're trying to have a good time,
and everyone's looking at your feet,
and you're messing it up." Anyway, that guy got choked. Next headline. U.S. tourist arrested after bringing Diet Coke to remote tribe on Forbidden Island where another American was killed. Holy shit, more Sentinel Island news. Do you remember Sentinel Island, Kade?
Oh, I remember Sentinel Island.
We covered Sentinel Island back in RBP 111 in 2018. We covered this shit, but
I feel like you covered it a couple more times since then, too.
It's come up repeatedly. Yeah, I think we covered that story. We did a full-blown stuff to Wikipedia when you're high about Sentinel Island. If you want to listen to those episodes, Google the Ross Bolin podcast, Sentinel Island. It's spelled Sentinel. I think.
Yeah.
I think I got that right. So this story is from CBS News. It says, Indian police said on Thursday they had arrested a U.S. tourist who sneaked onto a highly restricted island carrying a coconut and a can of Diet Coke to a tribe untouched by the modern world. I don't think we're going to get an explanation, if I remember correctly, in the story for why he chose
those two items.
A coconut and a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
but that's what he had on him. The incident occurred 7 years after another American was killed by the tribe on the same island, which is the story we covered in 2018. We warned the morons to stay away, but they didn't listen. This guy's name is Mikhailo Viktorovich Polyakov. He's a 24-year-old, set foot on the restricted territory of North Sentinel Island. That's what it is, North Sentinel Island. Not just Sentinel Island. North Sentinel. So add North to the Google.
Is there a South Sentinel Island, or is it just...
You'll have to Google that on your own to find out.
All right.
But it's part of India's Andaman Islands. And he was doing this in a bid to meet the Sentinelese people, who are believed to be numbered only around 150. So for those of you who, just to give you the cliff notes, if you haven't heard our old episodes on this or read about this island, there's 150 people on this island that form the Sentinelese tribe that have never made contact with the outside world. They have no fucking idea what's going on out here. They got no internet. They got no Diet Cokes.
They don't know about the tariffs.
Well, we may actually have put tariffs on them.
I think
we did put tariffs on some islands inhabited only by penguins, so it's likely we've tariffed the Sentinelese as well. But they don't know any of this shit, and if you go there, they will kill Whitey.
Yeah.
They've killed Whitey before, and they will kill Whitey again.
Yeah.
This moron, go ahead. Is there a South Sentinel Island?
It didn't, like, if you Google South Sentinel Island, like, it will pull up, but, like, it also just looks like North Sentinel Island. So I don't know if there actually is one.
Oh, it says no. It does exist. It's much smaller than its counterpart, North Sentinel Island, and is currently uninhabited.
Oh.
So maybe if the economy continues to crash and the world goes up in flames, we can go form, like, some kind of podcasting community on South Sentinel Island. All we have to do is remember not to go
to the
North Sentinel Island, because that's where the Sentinelese are, and they deserve their privacy. So it says all outsiders, Indians and foreigners alike, are banned from traveling within 3 miles of North Sentinel Island to protect the indigenous people from outside diseases and to preserve their way of life. Here's a quote from Andaman and Nicobar Islands Police Chief HGS Dhaliwal. Quote, "The American citizen was presented before the local court after his arrest and is now on a 3-day remand for further interrogation." End quote. Satellite photographs show a coral reef-fringed island stretching to some 6 miles at its widest point, with thick forest and white sand beaches, so it looks quite appealing. The Sentinelese last made international headlines in 2018 after they killed John Allen Chow, a 27-year-old American missionary who landed illegally on the beach. Basically, the story of that guy was that he was apparently going to try and spread the word of Christ. Yep. He got off the boat. They killed him with bow and arrows and spears, and they dragged his body into the woods.
Yeah.
And he was never seen again. So it didn't work.
No,
they weren't interested in God's love.
Yeah. No, apparently not.
You know?
Yeah.
Chow's body was not recovered. There were no investigations over his death because of the Indian law prohibiting anyone from going to the island. So that was it.
That's fair. Hey, we told you not to go, so.
Fair is fair.
Yeah.
But it's such a shit way to die. Like, they can't even go, like, recover your body or confirm your death.
Yeah.
God knows what they did with him.
Well, if he's just, like, living with them now.
They should have done, like, some horror movie shit. No offense to the deceased Chow. But, they should have, like, chopped his body up and then at night gone out and, like, made it spell something on the beach, like White Walker style, because that would scare people into staying away.
Have the head on a spear or something. That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, and the rest of the body parts making, like, a circle around it or something in the sand. Yeah,
and, like, no one ever knows what it means, and
Just
they never explain it.
If any of the Sentinelese get a hold of an iPod or something.
Yeah, if they're listening right now.
They listen to the pod. Y'all should try that next time. Maybe that'll, because clearly people are not taking this seriously enough. Whereas we definitely are.
Yeah, I will say, like, you Google, like, pictures of them. They look like a fun hang. They look, because they just got their spears and bow and arrows, and they just look like they're having a blast.
Yeah, they're loincloth people.
Yeah,
they don't wear much.
It's just
They've all got the same haircut.
Yep,
the exact same haircut. There's one barber doing all 150 people's hair, male and female, doesn't matter. Men and women all get the same fucking bowl cut on Sentinel Island. And they don't need us. They've got their own thing going.
No.
Frankly, as somebody who has repeatedly said, I wish society had stopped at, like, electricity or that we didn't have the internet, and I think we're destroying ourselves with social media. I'm jealous of the Sentinelese, what they've got going. They're living the simple life. And if you fuck with the simple life, bow and arrows and spears, baby. That's what's coming for you. So, yeah, they said, just an idea. We should make Leave the Sentinelese Alone t-shirts.
I can make that happen. I'll get on that merch grind.
Since you're the merch grind boy now.
Yeah.
India sees the wider Andaman and Nicobar Islands as strategically sited on key global shipping lanes. They are closer to Myanmar than mainland India. New Delhi plans to invest at least $9 billion to expand naval and air bases, troop accommodations, the port, and the main city in the region. Dhaliwal said Polyakov, the dude who went to the island illegally, kept blowing a whistle offshore for about an hour to attract the tribe's attention before he went ashore. That's just a dick move. Imagine somebody rolling up outside of your house and just blowing a fucking obnoxious whistle for a full hour trying to get you to come outside. Just so we can make content, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like a social media influencer.
Oh my God.
Which is just...
how did he not die?
Because they didn't come out. They ignored him. He went on shore for about 5 minutes, it says, left the offerings on the shore, a coconut and a Diet Coke, collected sand samples and recorded a video, probably a fucking selfie with a selfie stick.
Oh, absolutely.
Before returning to his boat. It says, quote, a review of his GoPro camera footage showed his entry and landing into the restricted North Sentinel Island. So what's sad about this is, like, we don't even have a way of knowing. Can you imagine what a Diet Coke could do to one of these people's digestive systems?
It would fuck them up.
Like, they have not experienced any of those chemicals, dude.
No.
Probably kill you. So it could be, he could have killed, God knows, 10% of the tribe could be gone if they were passing this Diet Coke around, sharing it with each other. Fuck. Police said Polyakov was arrested late on Monday, about 2 days after he went ashore, and had visited the region twice in recent months. He first used an inflatable kayak in October of 2024, but he was stopped by hotel staff, so it sounds like he didn't get very far. He made another unsuccessful attempt during a visit in January 2025. This guy has a death wish. Why does he keep trying this? This time, he used an inflatable boat with a motor to travel roughly 22 miles of open sea. So this is not some like 10-minute journey from mainland India to North Sentinel Island. 22 miles of open sea from the main archipelago. So the charity Survival International issued a statement calling his actions deeply disturbing. Quote, it beggars belief that someone could be that reckless and idiotic. This person's actions not only endangered their own life, they put the lives of the entire Sentinelese tribe at risk. It's very well known by now that uncontacted peoples have no immunity to common outside diseases like flu or measles, which could completely wipe them out. So if this fuckhead like sneezed in his hand and then carried the Diet Coke with that hand and then set the Diet Coke down, on top of them all dying from Diet Coke, the rest of them that survive
they're dying from
are getting like allergies from this dickhead or whatever. The common cold. Not good. The Sentinelese, whose language and customs remain a mystery to outsiders, shun all contact and have a record of hostility to anyone who tries to get close. A photograph issued by the Indian Coast Guard and Survival International 2 decades ago showed a Sentinelese man aiming a bow and arrow at a passing helicopter. I love that one. That was the one we used back when we initially covered it. Here's the guy.
Oh, dude, they have some big ass arrows. Like they're
Big
like
bows.
shooting spears.
Big bows, big arrows.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. They're basically spear arrows.
Yeah.
Bigger than your traditional arrow.
Like
you
that,
know?
They'll do some damage if they hit you.
I don't know if he could take down a chopper, though. It's a little ambitious.
Yeah.
Aiming it at a chopper. I just don't think he had that kind of strength.
Right. Again, yeah, they're big ass bows. I don't know if he's getting it there.
And I don't know what kind of strength training they're doing, you know?
No.
Like, they don't have creatine.
No creatine, no protein.
So how do they get huge?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
There's probably not.
How do they
bodybuilders?
How do they cut hair? I'd like to know as well. How do they
Probably
achieve that bowl cut?
Probably a knife. Just use the knife.
Very sharp knife.
Yeah.
Probably the same one they use to kill anybody who comes out there with Diet Coke.
Yep.
Indian authorities have prosecuted any locals who have aided attempts to enter the island and are trying to identify anyone who may have helped Polyakov. The Andamans are also home to the 400-strong Jarawa tribe, who activists say are also threatened by contact from outsiders. Tourists have previously bribed local officials in a bid to spend time with the Jawa. And yeah, that's our second headline.
All right.
I've got one more, but let's take care of some business first. When you work out, you need variety in your routine, and that variety needs to be sustainable. For years when I worked out, I did pretty much the same thing every time, and I wasn't doing anything for me and my body. I plateaued hard. That's why I love today's sponsor, Fitbod, so much. Fitbod is an app. It customizes every workout and adapts as you improve to avoid boredom and plateaus on your journey to getting your bod fit. Personally been using Fitbod for a couple years now. I'm coming up on my 300th Fitbod workout, which will be a huge milestone for your boy. Since I started using Fitbod, I've added about 20 pounds of muscle. I'm in the best shape of my life. Many have started calling me Ripped Ross. Others call me Fit Bill. Occasionally when I'm in public, which isn't often, someone will shout, "You killed Bill Chungus!" Plus, I've completely avoided dad bod so far. All good things. With every exercise Fitbod serves you, there's a how-to video breakdown with an expert showing you exactly how to do each movement, and also a text description to help you understand what you're doing, so no matter your level of experience in the gym, you're good with Fitbod. Got my Fitbod app pulled up. Today's workout, I've got barbell bench press, stability hip thrusts, wide grip pull-ups, incline dumbbell rows, dumbbell flies, stiff-legged barbell good mornings, hitting chest, glutes, back, and lower back. Can't wait to get huge. Fitbod is like having a personal trainer in your pocket that builds you a fully personalized workout. It lets you select your fitness goals, like how many workouts you want to do each week and what you want to focus on, like strength training, general fitness, or powerlifting. You select what equipment you have available, if any. You don't even need equipment, though. It'll build you just body weight workouts. If you don't, you also select your experience level, and it crafts personalized workouts just for you. Level up your workout. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription, or try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.me/Ross. That's fitbod.me/ROSS for 25% off, or you can try Fitbod free for 7 days when you go to that link in the description, the details of this episode. Fitbod.me/Ross. 25% off your subscription, or try the app free for 7 days. Here's our last
Maybe we
headline.
need to give the Sentinel Island people a Fitbod subscription so
Yeah, but they don't
can
have
get huge.
phones.
Well, we just drop off a phone for them with the Fitbod app.
We'd ruin everything.
But they're getting huge then. Like, they're getting jacked.
It would have to restrict the phone to only allow them to access the Fitbod app and nothing else.
Yeah, that'd be the only app on the phone. It's just the Fitbod app.
No other
connection
to anything, because otherwise we risk
exposing them to
porn addiction.
Yeah. No, I can't be having that.
Here's our last headline. This one's a little less fun. Chance of asteroid hitting moon increases slightly. Remember earlier in the year when there was this talk of this asteroid that had it has a 1.2% chance of hitting Earth in 2026. We were like, well, that doesn't sound good. That sounds like the plot of the movie Don't Look Up,
Right.
starring Leonardo DiCaprio. And then, 2 days later, they were like, "Oh shit, it's like a 3.2% chance now." And then a few days later, they were like, "It's a 3.8% chance." And it was like, "Okay, this is just gonna fucking hit us."
Yeah.
Well, now it sounds like that asteroid is not gonna hit us at all, and it's gonna hit the fucking moon.
Which also wouldn't be great.
We don't know. So here's the story from the BBC: a large asteroid whose chances of hitting Earth have been all but ruled out is now slightly more likely to hit the moon than previously thought, NASA says. When first discovered, asteroid 2024 YR4, we can do better than that with the name. Come on. It had a very small chance of impacting Earth in 2032, not 2026, my bad. But the U.S. Space Agency has cut that chance to 0.004%. It is now reported, though, that the likelihood of a moon impact on December 22nd of 2032 has more than doubled from 1.7% to 3.8%. I'm amazed by the science behind shit like this because, one, I'm pretty sure they have to find it with a telescope.
Right.
And then they somehow do the math to figure it's going to hit 3 days before Christmas in 2032.
Yeah, and figuring out the trajectory and all that, and the timing of it all is
and how the
crazy.
percentages break down.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm glad we have people who do that type of math because
I couldn't.
I just don't think I'm capable of it, Kade.
My brain's not Not big enough for that.
It says it based the recalculation on information from telescopes, including the James Webb Space Telescope, which hopefully everyone is familiar with. There's still a 96.2% chance that the asteroid will miss the moon, NASA said in a statement, noting that even if it did make impact, it wouldn't necessarily change the moon's orbit. So it sounds like it's not even really big enough to like leave a new crater on the moon.
Yeah.
You know? Which is what I was kind of hoping for.
Oh, you're hoping for it?
Just a new crater. I just wanted to see a new crater. Okay. You know how you look up in the moon and you can kind of see like on the light side of the moon, you can see the fucking moon craters.
Yeah, I've seen a pic of a moon before.
I was rooting for a new one, you know? Webb's infrared observations also helped to narrow the estimate of the asteroid's size to between 53 to 67 meters, so it's about the size of a 10-story building.
I don't
know how good or bad that is.
I mean, that sounds huge to us, but I mean, the moon is like also...
Is the moon bigger than Earth?
I want to say no.
I also want to say no.
I think it's no.
But I think no. The moon is smaller than the Earth. Okay. The Earth is about 4 times wider than the moon.
Okay. Well, I feel like that'd still do some damage.
Oh man, it's real. Yeah, it's real small. That's the moon and that's Earth.
Yeah, but also like but like a 10-story building like on Earth, like you can't even.
But I don't know how big of an asteroid would it take to like really, how big was the asteroid that took out the dinosaurs?
That's a good question. I don't know. But then that didn't really that just wiped out the entire species.
It was between 6 and 9.3 miles in diameter, so it was fairly large.
Okay, yeah, that's
a big rock.
Big rock, yeah.
Big old space rock, roughly the size of a city. So one building sized asteroid. There it is. Not so bad.
Yeah.
But if you get one that's
again, the moon is smaller, so it might have more of an impact, but
could have gotten a new crater.
Yeah.
Guess it's going to depend on the math. It says in the time since 2024 YR4 was first spotted through a telescope in the desert in Chile in December, tens of other objects have passed closer to the Earth than the moon. It is likely that others, albeit much smaller, have hit us or burned up in the atmosphere but gone unnoticed. A lunar impact, although extremely unlikely, could offer a rare chance to observe a real collision and study how the moon responds.
They're just like, we'll see what happens to it.
Yeah, what if it hits and like the moon just like fucking spirals out of orbit off into space and then we don't have a moon anymore?
Yeah, then the tides are all fucked.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably kill us all.
Yeah, we'd be so fucked.
I imagine it would be like a secondary effect of that was that the Earth would be screwed.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I forgot about the tides.
Yeah.
And all the gravity stuff.
Yep.
What if we all just float off because the moon gets knocked out of orbit? Just something to consider while you go about your day-to-day life. Just think about it,
Just another apocalyptic event that could possibly happen.
We need as many plates spinning at one time as possible to keep us all occupied, our minds, Professor Mark Burchell, professor of space science at the University of Kent, told the New Scientist magazine that a moon hit would be, quote, a great experiment and a perfect opportunity, end quote. He also added telescopes would certainly see it and binoculars might even. So we might even be able to go out and watch our tides get fucked.
In real time. God.
Webb will observe the asteroid again next month for further analysis. Good fun. That's our final insane headline of the day. Now, I've been trying to become a Reddit guy. I've got the app on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't have a username yet. It's just the anonymous one that they assigned me, which I'll pull up to see what it is. It's like
like user 2467
broad image 6435. Yeah, just random numbers.
Okay.
So I don't really know why. But anyway, but the point is I'm trying to become a Reddit guy because it's a little easier to tailor your feed to shit you actually want to see. Granted, you will be a couple hours behind Twitter. Twitter's pretty instantaneous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're getting news immediately. But Twitter's also a hellhole. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. So, anyway, I found this place, this subreddit. That's the Confession subreddit, which is described as a place to admit your wrongdoings, acknowledge your guilt, and alleviate your conscience. Okay? And for whatever reason, this particular story popped up on my Reddit feed as one I might be interested in. The algorithm determined this was up my alley. And it says, the headline is, the original poster said, I've been faking an allergy for years, and now it's gone way too far. And then I'm going to read you this person's story. This started as a dumb excuse, and now I'm in too deep. Years ago, I went on a date with this girl who was obsessed with peanut butter. She kept pushing me to try her peanut butter smoothie, even after I said I wasn't in the mood. Just take a sip, dude. It's not that big of a deal. Like, take a little sip of the peanut butter smoothie. Jesus, this all could have been avoided. Instead of just saying no, I blurted out, "Oh, I can't. I'm allergic." Big mistake. She was super concerned, asked a million questions, and I figured, whatever, I'd never see her again. But then she introduced me to her friend group, and they all knew about my allergy. At that point, correcting it felt too awkward. Fast forward 6 years. I'm still friends with these people. My allergy is a known fact. They warn restaurants for me. They check ingredients. One of them even threw out a peanut butter cake someone brought to a party, quote, just to be safe. The worst part, I love peanut butter. I eat it in secret. I have a stash at work. Once my best friend said, "Man, it must suck not knowing what a Reese's tastes like," and I just nodded solemnly. Now, my girlfriend, who also believes I'm allergic, wants us to move in together. And she's super cautious about food. I'm terrified she'll find my peanut butter stash and think I've been lying to her, which I have for years. I have no idea how to get out of this. Do I fake a miracle recovery, a medical misdiagnosis, or do I just keep the lie going forever? And then the too long didn't read at the bottom is, lied about a peanut allergy, now I'm living a double life and can never eat Reese's in public.
Dude, this sounds like a fucking sitcom episode.
It does, like an episode of Friends.
Yeah.
Or some shit. Damn, that's one hell of a hole this person dug.
So, yeah, he went from saying, I don't think I'll ever see this person again, to
6 years later.
dating that girl, I think.
It sounds like it,
And
yeah.
then still being friends with all those people for 6 years. And they
all go out of their way to try to protect him.
Yeah.
So it's doubly fucked up because, like, not only are you just lying for mostly no reason, just because you literally didn't want to try a peanut butter fucking smoothie, you idiot, but now these people are all enjoying peanut butter less just because they think they're protecting him.
Right.
Like,
They're
what
all
a selfish
missing out on
prick.
the peanut butter. She's not having those peanut butter smoothies anymore.
And this is the thing with lying. It can start off innocent and then spiral out of control into something. You lose control of the narrative, of the lie. It takes on a life of its own. And that's just a general lesson on why you should avoid lying. And if you do accidentally do something like this, because, like, it happens. People on the fly come up with really dumb ideas to get out of shit. And sometimes it's like, you really just don't want to have a sip of this fucking peanut butter smoothie, so you say you're allergic to peanut butter. But, like, the next day, you should be like, hey, I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm not allergic to peanut butter. I just didn't want to try your smoothie.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I still don't want to try it.
Yeah.
But I'm not allergic to peanut butter. 6 fucking years? That is so long to live this lie.
And he's still eating it in secret. Like, he has to do everything in secret. Like, that's...
He has a stash at work?
Well, because his coworkers probably, like, they know he, like, can eat peanut butter. Like, he
Yeah, but they probably think he's a fucking weirdo. If I walked by your desk and you just had, like, a jar of Jiffy out and you're just, like, scooping peanut butter into your face.
Well, maybe that's where, like, he, like, has his Reese's and stuff. But yeah, I'm thinking he definitely has just, like, a big ass jar of peanut butter that he just takes little scoops out of.
The way he's describing it is like he's a peanut butter addict.
Yeah.
But he has to hide his addiction from everyone.
Yeah, if he's going out of his way to have peanut butter this much, it sounds like, then why did he say no to the smoothie in the first place? Because it sounds like he really likes peanut butter.
Yeah, I honestly can't wrap my head around it. Huge mistake, though, from this. And the girl moving in is 100% going to find out. And if you come clean at this point, a 6-year-long lie is a pretty big fucking red flag for most people, guy. You know what I mean?
Even though it seems like very small in comparison to just like lying about a peanut.
Yeah, but she's going to think back to all the different times it came up and all the times they went out of their way to try to help him, and they warned waiters and waitresses or went to restaurants where they say, anybody have any allergies? And they would all be like, our boy here's allergic to peanuts. Don't bring any fucking near us.
Yeah.
But in reality, he was at work snorting Reese's, you know? Like, He's a fucking liar. She's just never going to be able to trust him again.
Yeah,
so.
like, what is he like? Because he mentioned, like, do I fake a miracle recovery or like a medical misdiagnosis? Like, what does he? Does he just have to keep up the lie?
I think you have to, if you really want to keep this friend group and that girl, you're going to have to lie to fix the lie.
Yeah.
And be like, y'all are not going to believe this, but I went to my allergy doctor. They tested me again because they test me every few years, and I'm no longer allergic to peanut butter.
Is that like a thing that can actually happen?
I think so. You can recover from allergies, from food allergies, or they can just spring up randomly too. So I think that's what
that's what he has to lie again.
But that's the only way, because if you come full truth here, you're ruining your friendships, which is probably unnecessary, considering the stupidity of this entire situation. It's not like he murdered someone. He's just a fucking peanut butter weirdo.
Because he didn't want to drink a peanut butter smoothie. That's wild.
So Confessions is a fun little subreddit, though. It's reddit.com/r/confession. Not confessions, excuse me, confession. I'll read you some of the random headlines toward the top of the page today, just so you get a better idea of, like, it's fucking insane. The top one is, a girl mini road raged me, so I sauced her door handle, which it sounds like she road raged him. He found her car in a parking lot and then smeared an assortment of sauces all over her door handle.
Was it peanut butter?
I don't think any peanut butter was involved, though. I lied to my coworker about the cupcakes in the break room. It's I'll just read you the beginning. My coworker can't eat cupcakes because she got diagnosed with Crohn's disease and is on an elimination diet, but she loves to eat. She sounded very sad when she warned me that there were cupcakes in the break room, so I lied and told her they sucked and were dry and the icing was crusty, but they were perfectly delicious. So it feels bad about that, getting that off its chest. Let's see, another one. I found an ATM that didn't register my withdrawals. Holy shit, that's like a dream, but there's no way that's true.
Yeah.
There's no way. It says 10 years ago they used an ATM and they noticed it didn't take the money out of their account. So a few days later, went back to the same convenience store where the ATM was, used it again, and then used it again right after that, checked the account, no money was taken out. Did this for 2 years, got thousands of dollars, and it never registered the withdrawals, allegedly. So who knows?
Yeah.
I stuck a used pad to my neighbor's door to prove a point. That's like a menstruation pad.
Right.
That's gnarly.
That's gross. I'm seeing one pranked my roommate into thinking we're haunted. Now she's hosting seances, and I'm in too deep.
Oh, man.
That sounds like the same vein.
Yeah. I went dumpster diving in the 1980s and won the lottery. I intentionally made errors when grading university exams. So there's just people confessing to all types of shit.
Yeah.
From like the smallest, dumbest thing you've ever heard to large, ridiculous lies that spiraled out of control and consumed people's lives.
Yeah.
So
and some people are doing like there's one, like a McDonald's worker, like, is giving more food than like they're supposed to. Like that's like a good, like, if I'm going to that McDonald's and I get more food than I want.
Yeah,
like,
of course it's not a Chipotle
yeah,
worker.
no, you'll never see a Chipotle.
Fucking course it's not.
Yeah.
Jeez. Anyway, good fun in the old confession subreddit that I will be keeping up with because it's entertaining.
There's some good ones
I'm
in
just
there.
obsessed with human psychology, and this is like a look into the mind of like all these different people and the weird things that people lie about and get themselves into. So, good fun. Living in Austin for the last 14 years, I've watched home prices shoot through the freaking roof. It's completely insane, and even if you're lucky enough to pull off buying your own house, the expenses obviously don't stop there. Owning property comes with plenty of challenges. You got repairs, renovations, things break or need to be replaced. But overpaying on property taxes shouldn't be one of those challenges. Fortunately, with today's sponsor, Own Well, you can fight your property taxes and save thousands of dollars every year. Own Well believes that when it comes to paying property tax, you should only pay what's fair. And I have no idea why anyone would disagree with that. Sign up in under 3 minutes, and their team of local professionals and experts and cost-cutting technology can start saving you money with no upfront costs. When I bought my first house, I didn't even realize property taxes were a thing that changed annually. So the first time I got hit with a new and significantly higher property tax bill, I was freaking out because I didn't even have the money to pay it. And that's when I learned that here in Austin, like much of the country, if you don't take the time to protest your property taxes properly, you're going to get absolutely worked. But finding someone suitable to represent you in protesting your property taxes can be a whole other pain in the ass in my experience. and that's what makes OwnWell great. With OwnWell, you can get an instant estimate of savings after a 3-minute, incredibly easy sign-up that only requires a few details. It is that simple, that effortless to save big with OwnWell, making sure your property taxes are straight without you even having to get up from your couch. That way you can take that extra savings and maybe put it into further improving your home and increasing its value and your quality of life, or maybe going on a cruise and choking out a CEO. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes. OwnWell handles everything from start to finish and delivers top results. No upfront costs, only pay if you save. 86% of OwnWell's customers receive a reduction with average customer savings of $1,102. Hundreds of thousands of happy customers and 5-star reviews. Local tax experts backed by cutting-edge technology and best-in-class customer support help you save money every year and stay updated throughout the process. The deadline to protest is May 15th. For most counties. Save money on your property taxes with OwnWell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at ownwell.com/Bolin. That's OWNWELL.com/Bolin. Details in the description of this episode. I saw a fantastic tweet this morning from one of my favorite follows. One of my favorite follows on Twitter, at Dragonfly Jones. It's an image of Glenn Powell. You know Glenn Powell
I know Glenn.
Of Sydney Sweeney fame.
Right.
And Tom Cruise known for his role in Tropic Thunder. And they're taking a photo together at CinemaCon. And Glenn has his hands in his pockets, and Tom has one hand around Glenn's shoulder and another pointing at Glenn. You know, so Dragonfly Jones said, masterclass on display here of dudes figuring out what to do with their hands in pictures. Glenn is a pockets guy. Tom is a pointer guy. Can't have two pocket guys or two pointer guys in the same picture. Throws everything out of whack. They nailed this one. 10 out of 10. No notes. Which is a great thing that I've never really put a ton of thought into, except for when I'm taking a picture and going, what the fuck do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
You know? Because I feel like the most boring thing you can do is all just put your arms around each other.
Yeah.
And it fucks up the photo. Like, it pulls your shirts up.
Yep.
It makes your shoulders scrunch up. It fucks with the look of your wardrobes. You know, it can make some of you, depending on how your body is shaped or whatever, you can look kind of goofy when you've got your arms up around other dudes. Like, you know, sometimes you've got a short dude you're dealing with, a short king who can't get his fucking arms up around you, you know?
Right.
So it can be kind of a pain in the ass to figure out what the fuck to do with your hands.
Or even if it's
pictures.
just like a solo picture, I'm still like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, solo pictures are the worst.
Yeah.
The worst ones, because I'm just like, I
don't.
Yeah. So I wanted to lay out some of the options, because there are kind of a lot of them. The ones that they just covered in this tweet, hands in pockets, obviously.
Yeah.
But it kind of makes you look like stuffy, especially if it's a solo photo when you got your hands in your pockets.
If it's a solo pic, you can't do both hands, but you could do the one hand in one pocket. I feel like that.
And what do you do with the other one? Sometimes I like to hang a thumb, stick a thumb in a pocket and hang
show
it
a
out.
little thumb.
That's yeah.
But then the other hand, I don't know. See, then it's like, what do you do with the other hand?
Don't know, dude.
It's
Hopefully
tough.
you got a drink or something.
Yeah,
but then you got a drink in the photo, and it's like it's just tough.
Yeah.
Solo photos are the most difficult. But obviously, hands in pockets is an option. Pointing at the person next to you in the photo is an option. One that is severely overused at this point, and one that I think kind of makes you look like a bitch.
Yeah, like
if it's you and me in a photo, and I'm like, oh, look at this guy.
Look at this guy.
Why am I pointing at you?
Yeah,
What am I saying by pointing at you? Look who's also in the picture. Everybody fucking knows. There's only two of us in the photo. So like I've never understood the point. There's also the point at the camera, which otherwise known as the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Which is also just
I don't
it's
like that.
It's almost offensively aggressive. So douchey.
Yeah.
The PowerPoint. But I hate how many people do the point in the photo now. No offense to Tom Cruise, the GOAT, but it is overdone. It's being overused.
I have a picture where I'm doing a point.
Oh, I no doubt have a photo where I'm doing it at some point, back from when I used to socialize.
But I'm just kind of like
friends.
I don't know. I'm just kind of like pointing, like in just like a.
See, you're not even pointing at a person. You're just pointing.
I'm just pointing.
There's not even anyone really next to you. He's 3 feet away in a chair, not paying attention to the photo at all.
I'm not pointing at. Yeah.
You can go double peace signs.
I don't like that either, though.
Compared to what, though?
I don't know.
You're basically picking the lesser of all these evils.
You think the double peace sign?
I don't think it's a bad option, especially solo photo.
Yeah.
Because like, what the fuck else? You could cross your arms, but then you look stuffy again.
Yeah.
You know,
you're like
a further iteration of that is like dropping into the b-boy stance.
like one of these, or like
you drop onto one knee.
Yeah.
One leg popped up, crossed arms.
Yeah. It kind of feels like when you cross your arms, like you're shutting everyone off. You know, like you're like shutting people.
You're protecting yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you're not
open.
available for socializing.
Yes.
You know.
Right.
I guess b-boy stance, technically, you don't have to drop down. You can just...
You're just more chill. It's like a more chill
arm cross. Yeah. You could throw up the west side.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more of an east side guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't think I've ever thrown east side. So we've got both sides covered.
Yeah. Also, I feel really weird about doing that, too. Just, I don't know. It just feels like I'm throwing up gang signs. I'm just like, I probably shouldn't be doing that.
I have a write-off because I went to West Side High School.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
Which was the main benefit of going to West Side High School is that you got permission to throw up the West Side without being from the West Side of, California or whatever. My version of this is the H.
Yeah, how do you throw up the H?
Everybody in Houston throws up the H.
Okay.
This is very overdone, though.
Yeah.
And I guess you could argue that you can't really have more than one H person in a photo, but like if you see a photo of like Slim Thug with Bun B and Paul Wall, and
they're all throwing up the H.
They're all throwing the H, dude.
Yeah, I will say like Texas Longhorn fans, they get to throw up the horns.
See, they've got an option.
Like it's nice if like your team that you root for like has like a hand sign you can do.
Yeah,
in pictures. Like I feel like that's good, but like Ohio State and the Colts, like they don't have shit. Well, we have this, but like I'm not doing this shit in the picture. I'm not throwing up a big ass O.
The Longhorns have the superior hand signal in all of college sports.
Oh yeah,
like the Aggies.
What are a thumbs up?
Gig 'em, thumbs up is
stupid. What is that?
Like you better be a fucking 42-year-old, twice divorced, currently unemployed dad if you're throwing thumbs up in a photo. Mm-hmm. That's not a good option.
No, the double thumbs.
Double thumbs up or even one thumbs up, you know? Trump likes to do the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Him and his boys. So it's just getting driven even deeper into the ground, you know? Can't do thumbs up anymore.
Nope.
Middle finger is trash. The Eminem.
Oh, yeah.
Double
can't
birds.
Do that. No, that's just, like in the behind the scenes photos for the boys.
You know who was chunking middle fingers like recklessly in behind the scenes photos?
Oh,
fucking Adam Scott, dude.
Yeah.
Adam Scott is just
throwing
that's
birds.
His go-to.
Yeah.
That's his go-to. What to do with your hands when you're getting a
Maybe
picture
someone
taken
told
of
him
you.
to put his shoes on.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. At least he didn't choke anyone out. But hands on the hips.
No, can't do that.
That's the Peter Pan.
Oh yeah.
That's how Peter stands. Hands on the hips. You know. That's not a good option.
No.
There aren't good options, dude.
There really aren't, yeah. That's why I think candid photos are the best, where you're just like
naturally doing shit.
Yeah.
I talk with my hands, so they're yeah. I like that too. But posing for a photo, it's a tough decision. I kind of like the one hand on the shoulder shake hands if it's just you and one other dude in the picture.
Why are you shaking his
like
hand?
You're doing a business deal.
Yeah, what? You're not.
As I've said, there are no good options. It's about finding the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Bunny ears.
I like that one.
Kids love to do bunny ears. I feel like I saw a photo of you doing bunny ears to somebody at one point at the bar. Or like you put up an Instagram or something. You hit somebody with the bunny ears.
Yeah, I'm supposed to do my March post. I haven't done it yet, but now I'm very self-conscious about my pictures because of this.
Because of this?
Yeah, because I'm like, damn, how do I look in these? All right, hold on. Should we like go through? Let's go through
your most recent photos.
Or like I can show you like what I'm gonna post probably today, I think. So we did this one. Here I'm leaned back in the chair doing a little T-pose.
Okay, yeah, you have been trying some fucking outlandish shit, dude.
Yeah. And then this is just
arms out,
the
T-pose.
boys.
So you're in a good spot there because you can't see your hands.
Right. Yep.
You can't see any hands in that one.
And then I got me just holding the beer.
Hold. See, that one sucks.
You don't like that?
No, I'm not saying I don't like that photo. It's a fine photo of you. But having a drink and somebody being like, "Hey, let's take a picture of you real quick," and then everyone does the same.
Yeah.
We just hold.
I included that like
look
right
at my
after.
drink. Yeah, it's a couple of beers. Yeah, dude, that's Yeah, I don't know. There's Ricky Bobby floating hands, where at least that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Because you're like, I literally don't know what to do
Stare
with
into the
my
camera
hands.
and just do the floating hands.
Um,
I'm holding things in all of the photos of me from recently, whether it is a kid or two kids.
let's see, what other ones do I have?
Nobody takes pictures of me anymore, man. There's no photos of me out and about, you know? Like I've got a kid in this one, and then the other hand is gone. It's probably on my dad's back.
Sorry. But yeah, I'm just this is a candid photo. I wasn't like
See, that's what you want. That's what you're looking for.
And then,
did you destroy that Masters costume,
No,
by the way?
it's in great condition. I will have to wear it next weekend though.
Oh wow.
Doing another golf.
You're going back in, huh?
Yeah. Then like that one's kind of tough.
It's just tough at bars and oh, you mean tough like that's a good tough.
Yeah,
that looks good.
Yeah.
But it's tough at bars, you know?
Right.
It's a challenging.
When was I doing bunny ears to someone?
I don't know. I think it was months ago.
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about like? I'm just throwing out the peace sign.
It was legit bunny ears. That's a peace sign. Okay. That's not bunny ears.
And then I got I'm kind of doing like
that's
horns
a sideways H.
Yeah, but we're trying to do horns down.
Oh, well, that's you failed. You both fucking failed.
No, she didn't fail.
Those are horns sideways, dude.
That's a horn.
This is horns down, dude. It's not that hard. You got to be pointing straight down.
To be fair,
she's like throwing it sideways.
Yeah.
You know?
To be fair, I did have a lot to drink that day, so.
Oh, you both blew it.
Yeah.
No good options. What's the best option to do with your hands in a photo? Nobody knows. Worst thing to get caught doing, and I love this because this happens with celebrities a lot. They'll do photos with fans, you know, and they'll do hover hands.
Oh yeah.
Where you're basically fake putting your arm around someone, but not making contact. That happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. I do this like, say like I'm in a picture with like one of my buddy's girlfriends.
You do a hover hand?
Yeah. So like you'll have it around, but like you won't be.
Just find another fucking option.
True. Yeah. But for all like.
I've done it too. I'm not saying.
But for all again, like just like
I know,
arms around.
You got to figure out something.
Yeah.
That's hit her with the bunny ears. That's when you hit her with the bunny ears. We're bringing back bunny ears. That's what we're doing with this segment here. We're bringing back bunny ears.
The April photo dump is going to be all bunny ears.
You know what? I'll do a photo dump too because I haven't done one since, let's see, what am I looking at here? October of 2024.
That was the last time you posted a picture?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I don't do them often. Before that, it was May of 2024.
Yeah. See, I like doing the photo dump because it gives me like a reason to just post shit every month.
Yeah.
And like I have it.
I did 5 posts on Instagram in 2024, in the year 2024. I need to be better.
Yeah.
But it's just all my kids and my dogs and shit, man. Like there's not, I've got Disney Cruise pics for this one. This photo dump will be Disney Cruise.
There you go.
If you haven't listened to last week's episode where I talk about the Disney Cruise with Kade, go enjoy that.
Yeah.
But hit us up on the hotline this week, 888-WR-BOLIN. What are your go-to moves?
Next week, yeah.
For next week, excuse me. Your go-to moves for your hands and pictures. What are you doing? What do you think looks best? What do you think is worst? 888-WR-BOLIN. We'll take calls on patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast. And we will discuss. Please support today's sponsors. We had fitbod.me/Ross to try the app free for 7 days. This is the workout app I use every week. Or you can get 25% off your subscription. And ownwell.com/Bolin to protest your property taxes in less than 3 minutes. You can get signed up and get it started. Ownwell.com/Bolin. Support our sponsors. Rate and review our show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. Write a couple sentences about why you like the show. If you're on Spotify, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, holler at Kade and I on social media, at Kade Orris, at KADEORRIS on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at WR Bolin on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow RBP on all the social medias. I put up a TikTok video yesterday for the first time in weeks.
There you go.
I'm working on getting back into the swing of social media marketing with RBP because I've had to focus so much on OCC that RBP kind of fell by the wayside on social. So I apologize for our following being bored.
You know what I was thinking about? We need to bring back the like the vanity license plates, like listeners like taking pics and then we post it to Like the Instagram stories are like the one to let them know.
Dude,
at the
we're going
concerts.
back in a time machine
Yeah.
because Kade and I were talking off mic before the recording today that like people have started sending me Chipotle napkins stashes again.
Yeah.
It's like it was a recession indicator.
Right.
That's how we know the economy is in the shitter because people are once again stealing Chipotle napkins by the hundreds and sending them to me. So yeah, I think we just go all the way back in the time machine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking 2017, 2018 again,
Yep.
and we're doing vanity plates, we're doing Chipotle napkins. What else did we do?
One to let them know.
One to let them know.
At the-
those
at
kind of
concerts.
Those kind of suck though. Let's not do those.
Okay, we won't do that.
No. Dogs.
Sure. Dogs. Yeah, we'll post pics of dogs all day. Shopping carts.
Shopping carts in the wild.
Yeah.
Yep. And floating hands and strange hands in photos.
Yeah, if you have like a really
If you got a
weird-
photo where somebody just badly fucked up, I want to see it. DM that shit to the Ross Bolin podcast on Instagram so we can put it up in our story. Because they're out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know they're out there. Just between the two of us, I bet we could find a lot in our phones.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I have so many, I'm sure.
Love y'all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're on youtube.com/@the Ross Bolin podcast, Kade and I will be back next week. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. Peace be with you.
And also with you.